And for more on this, Claudia Gazzini joins me now from Rome. She's a senior analyst for Libya at the International Crisis Group. Really great to have you, Claudia. Now, how encouraged are you by the progress being made in Vienna?
Well, the Vienna meeting offers some sign of encouragement in the sense that the international community did rally behind Serraj. However, these positive signs risk being offset by the negative consequences of what has happened. We have to remember that Libya is still very divided. Serraj government does not have control of its ministries in Tripoli. It has not been approved by the parliament in the west of the country. So there's a possibility that all this international show of force, this international support that we saw in Vienna, this offer to lift the arms embargo, or at least make exceptions to the embargo and offer weapons to the Serraj loyal forces, could trigger negative reactions in the east of the country, where there's very little buy-in for this cabinet lineup at the moment.
So essentially, if arms are being provided to Tripoli and a separate military, and they're being encouraged to participate, are you effectively taking sides in what seems like a civil war? I mean, is it really going to be effective in fighting Daesh, or could it fall into the wrong hands here?
Weapons, of course, could fall into the wrong hands. Let's remember also that this Serraj government really does not have a command and control military structure under it. It has just appointed a defense minister who just has to arrive in Tripoli. He's not there yet. He's from the east. Who is part of this military force loyal to Serraj remains still a big question mark. We're talking about various armed groups from Misrata, Tripoli, some also from the east, and some army commanders. How is this all going to work out is really not clear. So even if weapons were to be provided to this group, or these various groups, their loyalty to Serraj is still a question, and their loyalty to whoever will be appointed as a commander-in-chief is also an open question. So we've known that various militias in the past 2 years have sold back on the domestic market weapons that they've been provided with, and of course this can happen. But the greatest fear is that the military forces that exist in eastern Libya, that are under the command of somebody who opposes this government lineup, General Khalifa Haftar, that they might continue to receive weapons, as they have been doing over the past 2 years, in complete violation of the embargo. So there is a risk that this move, if not carefully managed, if not handled with care and used as a tool to ask the Serraj government to implement command and control and procurement procedures, there's a risk that all of this could lead to an escalation of the run for weapons and an escalation of fighting.
So there's similarities here in terms of what happened in Afghanistan, throwing weapons into a country already awash with weapons. How effective do you think it really is going to be in terms of combating the rise of Daesh?
I mean, there's no doubt that Daesh over the past few months has been more aggressive. It has carried out attacks only 100 kilometers from Misrata, which is an important city in western Libya. But in order for a successful military strategy against Islamic State affiliates in Libya to take place, there needs to be unity of purpose and unity of ranks between the various military factions. At the moment, we have several hundred men under the command of Haftar, the Eastern Army commander. South of Sirte, we have these Misratan armed groups that are loyal to Serraj, mobilizing from the west. And the worst thing that could happen is, if these operations take place independently, there is also a risk of flare-up of fighting between these various groups that claim to be wanting to fight Daesh. And we know that instability and internal infighting in a country is what opened doors to the Islamic State.
Okay, Claudia, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your contributions today. Very much appreciated. Claudia Gazzini from Rome.